The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It is Tuesday, the 16th day of July, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. How's everyone doing? Second day of the traditional work week. We are back with you. Another day, another important community conversation, some things that we're going to discuss, some things that we can do to make our community and our economy and our country and our island and our home a bit better. So looking forward to a good convo today. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Keishon Wilson on from Freisenbruch for another segment of Get Insured. We're talking about life insurance and generational wealth today. So important conversation. Looking forward to that. Daily play is a remember when. So you're going to have to remember something that happened at some point or some time or something from, you get the point. It's a little history kind of question. So as you can see, I don't have a co-host today. So someone will be lucky enough to get the answer correct, I hope, and be eligible for this week's prize on Friday. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Without further ado, let's get into today's question. So first off, I've seen on social media, and some of you may have too, but today is Amazon Prime Day, I think it's called. It's Prime Day. So that means Prime deals and the like. But I came across something. I want to share it with you all. Came across something about Amazon Prime. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find. Yeah, it says Prime Day spending record expected. So Amazon's annual Prime Day event is projected to generate about $14 billion in spending, a 10.5% increase from last year, according to Adobe Analytics. The July sale, now in its 10th year, has transformed what used to be a sluggish season for retail. It's a sales driver akin to Black Friday, not only for Amazon, but also for competitors like Walmart and Target, which offer similar deals. The volume for shares of an expected $38.8 billion in back-to-school spending per the National Retail Federation. Prime Day takes place July 16th and 17th in over 20 countries. All right, so that said, question of the morning is, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? I mean, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? And before you even answer that, do you prefer to shop online? Do you prefer to shop online when you have to do your shopping? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even realize that Prime Day or Amazon Prime Deals Day, whatever it's called, was actually done at this time due to back to school or slow retail sales. Because as a Bermudians shop during the summer. You know, I mean, they got to get the cot match gear and the like, and you know, people like to go outdoors and do a lot of stuff. So I hadn't even considered it being slow in terms of retail, slower maybe when compared to Christmas. But what are your thoughts, audience? Do you prefer to shop online? Do you prefer to shop online as a Bermudian in Bermuda? Do you prefer to shop online, or are you a person who's, you know, hey, I shop when I need to, and if I have something in front of me in Bermuda, I'll get it. So what are your thoughts? How many Bermudian, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? I mean, how can they do it? Amazon, look, I'm gonna share something with you. I'll share something with you now. I don't consider myself a big shopper anymore, right? I just don't. But I went online last night. I was like, let me check out these Amazon Prime deals. And I ordered my electric toothbrush, right? And well, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning and my electric toothbrush was on my doorstep. Just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I got my Prime deal in early. You know, they show you advanced deals. So I did take advantage of it. But as far as do I prefer to shop online? Maybe I'm old school, but I do love to go into a business. I do still like it. I do like the convenience of shopping from home, but for certain things, I want to go and touch and feel and actually speak to someone. You know, my sis hit me up about a MacBook yesterday. Look, I'm not buying no Apple product and I don't like the Apple store, man, because it's just unnecessarily long. But I need them to walk me through this product because I'm not technically inclined like others. So there's things, I mean, for the Apple products, I will go to the store. For a new cell phone, I'm going to go to the store. Medications, if I have to, for certain things that I want to speak to someone, I'll go to the store. And to support local businesses, I will go to the store. But what are your thoughts, audience? How can Bermudian do we say happy Amazon Prime Day deal or something? And be honest, how many of you all got stuff in your carts right now? You all got stuff in your carts just waiting to push send, don't you? I know it. I know it. You probably have stuff in your carts. But let us know. Do you prefer to shop online? Do you prefer to shop online? Diana Gilbert says, I prefer to shop in Bermuda. She said, I prefer to shop in Bermuda. She says, goes on to say, local businesses should offer more selection at reasonable prices. Okay. Stacey Ann Brown, she says, sometimes for convenience, but sometimes I prefer to shop in person. Yeah, I'm one of those people as well, Stacey. It's a either or for me. It depends on what it is and the need for what it is, whatever it is I'm shopping for. But what else, audience? How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? And also, do you prefer to shop online? Do you prefer to shop online? Diana Gilbert says, I want to touch products to make sure breakouts don't happen. Yeah, for specific products, you definitely want to test them out. Kia Renee BDA says, yes, online shopping mostly, but for certain things, I want touch and see them. She wants to touch and see certain things. I get that. I get that. What else, audience? What else you got for us? What else you thinking? How do you prefer to shop online? This right here, Diana Gilbert says it. And I like to talk to people and promote local businesses. Yeah. But I like to ask, some of you probably won't care about that, but I do like to ask questions. I want to know, about certain things about the product or service, whatever it is I'm buying into. There are things that I look at online that I would put in my cart and then I would go to the store. Like today, I'm making a purchase. And while I could have ordered it online, I want to go into the store and speak to an expert or professional who can assist me with understanding the product a bit better. I think in a small place like Bermuda, it's so important for us to shop locally. That's the reality. Like it's so important because when we do shop locally, it benefits us. Now, some people may call it trickle, some people may call it ripple, but it does benefit us when we shop locally. If the best way I can explain it is, let's say there's a clothing store, right? And I know Bermudians have big issues shopping locally for clothes. Well, that clothing store probably employs someone you know, right? If you and everyone else stops shopping at that local clothing store and going outside of Bermuda online, you're impacting that person's ability to make a living, right? And that person's ability to make a living then takes more money out of the economy to help you. How? They may not be able to support a place to live. That means no Belco bill. They have no money to buy groceries. You see where we're going with this? So there are benefits to shopping locally. There are huge benefits to helping money circulate in your economy. When money goes out of the community, when money goes out of the economy, sorry, it's just not the same. It doesn't benefit us long term. So we have to figure out a way how we can get Bermudian retailers to compete with Amazon. Is it convenience? Is it the speed? Like, is it you need more access to online information about what's in these stores before you go out? Let's be honest, Bermuda's small, folks. Bermuda's small. Like I can tell you, I have in South Florida a store right down the road. That down the road to me is probably from Somerset to Hamilton, Bermuda-wise, right? But it's small. We can always just get out if the weather's permitting and it's, we're able. We can get out and go to these places, right? What's the excuse? All right. Again, do you prefer to shop online? But how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? Michael Daniels said Bermudian retailers should look into affiliate with large retailers in USA, Canada. Interesting. So let me ask, because I don't know about this space, Michael, but I think I get what you're saying. Are you saying that someone, let's say they carry Apple products, should develop a relationship with an already existing Apple company and be an official affiliate for Bermuda? Am I understanding that correctly? Help me out. I think that's what you're saying. I don't think that's a bad idea if that's what you're saying. We've got Diana Gilbert says, if you don't, your friends or family members lose their jobs. Yes, she's basically talking about supporting local businesses. If we don't support local businesses, our friends and family lose their jobs. Yes, Michael Daniels did say that. What are your thoughts on that? I think that's a great idea, Michael. Affiliates, become affiliates of larger businesses outside of Bermuda. I like that idea. What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on that idea by Michael Daniels? How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? He says that local businesses should be affiliates. What are your thoughts on that? It's not a bad idea. It's definitely not a bad idea. I want to say, what was it, Singular Wireless or something? Before Digicel came in, I think we had AT&T and Singular Wireless. I'm not sure how those businesses worked in Bermuda, but I feel like they were somewhat affiliates of the bigger Singular and AT&T in the US. I could be wrong, but I believe they were. And then I think Digicel came in and took over or bought them out. I don't know how that worked, but anybody remember that? But I think that was the case. Anyway, audience, let us know, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? And also, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Let them know that we're having a conversation on how to save our economy. That's what it really is. Seriously, that's what the convo really is. It's really about us saving our own selves. It's about helping ourselves. Only we can really truly help ourselves keep the money circulating. I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money. I'm not saying not to go on Amazon and enjoy a good Prime Day deal. I am not saying that. The question of the morning is, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? And I think the answer is in the consumer. Like, what are you, the consumer? What are you, the consumer, looking for in Bermudian retailers that's going to keep you local? Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, many Bermuda retailers need to upgrade their point of sale systems in order to let people know what they have in stock and at what price. Many comparison shop these days. So help me understand how that would work for a small business in Bermuda, Charles. Because to be honest, most businesses in Bermuda are considered small. So how would that work now in Bermuda? I like the idea. I'm just trying to figure out how it would work. Audience, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? Michael Daniels says, Bermuda will never have the variety that we want. It's a volume thing, though, right? It's a volume thing. It's a volume thing. I think it's tough. I think it's more of a volume thing because Bermuda, we have such a small population. I would say that's a more of a volume thing, and it relates to variety because from a retail perspective, let's say clothing, Bermudians don't like other people wearing the same thing as them. So how many? I mean, and then you have to order in bulk. Like it's tough. Look, anyone in retail in Bermuda is man. I wish them the best. It's tough. It's tough. It really is. What else, audience? How about this? How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? Would it help if they got tax breaks, like certain tax breaks from government? Would it help if imported stuff was taxed more to make people shop locally, or does that not work? Because all of us still go away, come back with suitcases full of information. I mean, full of goods. I mean, would it work? What are your thoughts? What can we do? Renee Simmons says, I just viewed a video of a guy purchased groceries from Walmart back in 2022 and thought he would reorder just to see the difference. 2022 cost $126. 2024 cost $414 for the same items. Inflation. Wow. That's crazy. Shoo. Somebody do the percentages for me on that increase, please. Can someone do a percentage increase? Let me know what that percent increase is. That's insane. Kia Vinay BDA says, make good quality products, maybe finding out the issues shoppers had with products on Amazon and make them better. Some overseas partnering would have to happen, but it's possible. I like the idea of people saying affiliates, like overseas affiliates. Here's the thing. We have so many Bermudians now based outside of Bermuda, right? So many Bermudians outside Bermuda doing different things. Partner with Bermudians overseas if you want to keep it with somebody who understands the culture, right? And maybe has a better understanding of what you're doing if you're afraid to go big. But I like the idea of working with people outside Bermuda. Sean Smith says, secret to success, data collection, survey. Know your customers. This is why Amazon and the like are successful. I disagree. I disagree. I just put something on social media this weekend, right? That let me go to my Twitter if you don't mind. Let me just go to my Twitter. And I'll tell you why I disagree with Sean Smith. Let me go to Twitter. Twitter. It's not called Twitter no more. My apologies, X. I don't want to get in trouble with Mr. Musk. But I said this weekend that I began to understand that facts no longer mattered when I realized that iPhone users still passionately argue about the product being better than Android, despite every bit of evidence presented proven otherwise. What's crazy about that statement is, and this is why I disagree with Sean Smith, Steve Jobs didn't believe in data collection and research. Steve Jobs was a creator. He created something and then created the demand for it. He made you believe that you wanted this, that you needed this. I think we live in such an era where we believe that data is king. It's not. Creativity is king. The ability to influence. I know we don't, many people have issues with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is actually, I believe there are going to be case studies on how he was able to influence the people the way he has, right? I think it's about influence. I disagree with the data, survey. Yes, it plays a role. I'm not saying dismiss it. But sometimes you've got to be so creative that you put things forward that people want to engage. They want to try it. And once you get them, you go from there. So I'm not really sold on the idea of data, survey as the secret to success. I believe the secret to success, that's part of it, but it has a lot to do with the creativity. And that's what people like Steve Jobs showed us. They challenged that theory of market research. Charles H. Jeffers II says many point of sale systems now allow for online publishing, which allows for shoppers to search for items and be advised where it can be purchased at shops close to you. Okay. Michael Daniel says Amazon realizes the value of Bermudian customers. Okay. James Gilbert says Amazon builds on small companies and gives a sales platform. This helps small businesses make money. We only have one businesses in Bermuda that comes close. Okay, I think it means we only have one business in Bermuda that comes close. Okay, what business is that? All right, let me see what else we got. Audience, keep it coming. How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? Let us know. How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? So the business James Gilbert was saying help small businesses make money was one of the delivery companies. I don't know. I don't like that model, to be honest. But, a lot of people don't like the Amazon model, right? I'll just say Jeff Bezos is another one. He is very intelligent at capitalism. I could put it like that. Jeff Bezos is very intelligent at capitalism. He's very good at it. Gotta bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour news break. But keep it coming, audience. Let us know, how can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? How can Bermudian retailers compete with Amazon? It is Amazon Prime Day. And just let me know. Some of you all have things in your cart right now, don't you? Some of you all have things in your cart right now. What do you have in your carts? I already told you what I got. I got an electric toothbrush. Ordered it last night about 10 o'clock. Woke up, it was here at 5 a.m. this morning. So I got my Amazon Prime deal in, got my toothbrush. Unfortunately, I couldn't charge it and get it up ready for this morning. No, I did brush my teeth. I did. I used my other toothbrush. But yeah, I got an electric toothbrush. Anybody else get anything? And anyone get anything from Amazon Prime? Did maybe I should have asked, does everyone know what Amazon Prime Day is? Like, do you know what Amazon Prime Day deals are? As I said earlier, reading from the article, it's pretty much a Black Friday in the summer. The idea is to actually push retail during the slowest time of the year and also help with back to school sales. So that's what Amazon Prime truly represents. What else, audience? What else? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Any other thing? Any other suggestions on how Bermudian retailers can compete with Amazon? Any final thoughts before we head off? We're about to go to the news break with Maya Palacio. Don't go anywhere. We've got Keishon Wilson coming up after that. It's Get Insured, and we're going to be talking about life insurance, things we should know, folks. So stick with us. Do not go anywhere. All right. Well, we'll do one more comment before we bring Maya in. Renee Simmons says, a good online shopping is AliExpress, I believe, in China. Not sure how quick the service is, but the variety of items at very low cost is amazing. Plus bulk purchases as well. Are we promoting them? What are you doing, Renee? We're trying to figure out how we can get Bermudian retailers to compete with Amazon. We ain't trying to promote AliExpress. Well, at least we know where to get your gift, your birthday or Christmas gift. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. What's in your Amazon cart?
Probably things for the Olympics.
So you did your shopping already? You got
I
a
did
deal?
most of it. Yeah, I feel like I got everything that I needed. No, it's just probably like little backup extra batteries. I can't. The amount of
Okay.
extra batteries I've been buying is actually quite funny. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I might need 6. I don't know.
People don't understand the struggle, folks. If you have one camera, trust me, I've ordered more batteries than cameras. Like obviously because you need backups, but probably triple. Like I legit just ordered some batteries for my camera. Yeah, I get it. But are there any on Prime Day deals?
I don't even know.
Look at you, all discipline. You ain't checked. Well, as I said, I ordered me a electric toothbrush and it came. So now I got to spend the rest of the day and tomorrow avoiding going on Amazon. Because no, they yell at you. They're like, "Come here, Jamel. You know you want that," and I'm just like, "I don't need it.
It's
It's not
been in
about."
your cart for 8 months. You might want this now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they stalk you. Like Amazon stalk because they send you those emails after you weren't done. Like you forgot something, and I think there's forgot something emails. You know what's that thing coming into effect in Bermuda? Pippa. Yeah, I think they should actually have a law against those emails. You know how they send those emails and be like, "You forgot something." No, I didn't forget anything. I'm broke. You got me last week. So I think people should add something like that in there, Maya. Like they should say you can't send these emails to people after they left your website and say that they forgot something, because that's harassment at some point. I mean, even though I may make the purchase, it's still harassment. I wouldn't have made it if I weren't harassed. Make sense?
It makes a bit of sense, but you still made a purchase. So it makes me feel like maybe you did forget it.
I mean, I would have forgot it altogether if they didn't harass me.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Maya's getting some batteries, folks. She's going on Prime, get some batteries. What you got for us today?
Good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour Newsbreak brought to you by People's Pharmacy. So yesterday I did say that I was going to bring up some statistics and some words from the community when I asked this question. And it had to be almost about 5 years ago. I didn't calculate the exact time, but it was on my Instagram and I asked the question that was, why do young men choose to be a part of gangs in Bermuda? And I remember this was like 5-6 years ago when I asked this question. I think it was around the time that the government at the time was like increasing stop-in searches, and obviously that would affect the Black community more, mainly because of that. So some of the responses that we have here in the boxes that you see were given at the time, which was environment, culture, protection, social construct, social acceptance, neglect, anger, boredom. And it goes on to say when you're young, 12 to 17, it's seen as a boost to your social status, more money, fun, and girls. Lack of opportunities after a certain age, you're just left to run the streets. It provides a sense of belonging that we crave when you don't have proper family structure support and are just attracted by the women that often accompany that lifestyle as well. And then a lot lack sense of direction. That's why so many are misled instead of leading themselves. So those are some of the responses. Granted, it was a ton of responses, and you can go on it by just going to my Instagram page, and then it's like one of the very last stories at the top. It just says "Why gangs?" and there's a lot of responses. Now, I did say I was going to bring up one of the messages, which I was able to find, from someone who's been through the experience themselves. Now, this is what they wrote to me 5 years ago. If you want the real answers, Maya, come Westgate and survey, come talk to real guys, talk to originators of these street gangs stuff, and I bet you'll be amazed at the responses you receive. Many of us doing hours or sitting on dead man time have many regrets, many pains, and wish a man could turn his or their life around, but we ain't got a voice to speak to these little young men.
I like what you did there. I think I would love to speak to some young men in Westgate. I'd also like to speak to some young guys out actually, involved in it. I don't believe that anything's truly lost until there's no life, left.
The
But
thing is,
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I just want to jump in to say, like, at the Murder of Paradise lecture, they did speak to, I believe, 3 young men who are incarcerated currently, and that was a conversation indeed.
Yeah, and props to Bermuda College and Sean DeShields them for putting that on almost 2 years ago now. I think if we want to know, as a community, then we have to listen. And I'm not quite sure we care to listen. That's the truth. Because I think many of the attitudes are like, we'll wrote these people off already because of the kind of behavior that they've expressed. But I think conversations need to happen with them. I definitely agree with them, and really connect those who are doing it and those who are facing the consequences from having done it. I think that's a way to look at it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, in more recent news in Bermuda, and again, we report on this quite weekly, and I know we had a kind of discussions about these sort of collisions as well, but let's talk about the first one. We have two collisions that have been updated, given to us by the police. So a government van driver involved in a collision with two cars on Middle Road in Warwick on July the 9th was arrested on suspicion of impaired driving and then later released from police custody after he passed the breathalyzer test. Now, the 64-year-old Sands Parish man was unhurt in the collision. The driver of one of the cars involved, said to be a 59-year-old Southampton woman, is understood to have been transported to the hospital for treatment of a stiff neck. And then the driver of the other car involved to be a 66-year-old Smith Parish man who was treated at the scene, and his passenger was also unhurt. Now, all three vehicles were damaged in the collision, and it appears that the government van involved was being driven in the westbound lane of Middle Road, and the two cars were being driven in the opposite direction of Middle Road. So again, any inquiries are still wanting to be continued by the police. So if you have seen something, know something, and witnessed it, you can call 211.
It's normal, but I'm just glad that no life was lost, no serious interest.
Indeed, but it still brings question as to like, well, then how did it happen? Because it wasn't exactly clear as to like, okay, well, they're driving that way and they're driving that way, so how did this happen? But meanwhile, and this is something that we actually brought up in discussion on the show about, these rental bikes driven by tourists. So a 54-year-old visitor is in the hospital with treatment after a rental scooter that she was driving collided with a section of wooden roadside railing around 11 a.m. on Friday, July the 12th in Southampton. Now, the visiting American woman sustained a broken arm as well as abrasions about her body and was transported to the hospital. After the single vehicle collision occurred, obviously there was, it happened alongside the vicinity of Five Star Island as the rental cycle was being ridden in the eastbound lane. Again, anyone who witnessed that one is again asked to call 211 for that as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that old age debate. Again, glad no life lost, but tourists and bike rentals.
Tourists and bike rentals, indeed. And then meanwhile, later today, the Free Democratic Movement will be announcing the release of their education policy in the morning. So that'll happen around 11 a.m. Bermuda time. It's not exactly said where this will be streamed to, if it is going to be streamed, but maybe on other networks that will be there. But definitely look forward to an update on that, either from myself or Teo this week in the news break.
All right.
And for your sports news, we are officially 10 days away from the Olympic Games.
10 days.
10 days.
Time. Look, the Euros and Copa America just finished on Sunday. Take that quick break, folks, and then it's right back to the Olympics. What a summer. What a summer.
And some people might know, because I know everyone's really excited for Flora Duffy's race, but that's going to be at about 3 a.m. Bermuda time for those who are going to stay up and watch our Olympic champion.
We be up. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Exactly. And for the weather today, it's looking mostly sunny, actually. So it should be a really good day today. And we've got a high of 85 degrees. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water out there in this heat.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Maya. So it's the 16th today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So here's what's interesting. When I was growing up, I never heard of people eating like kale and spinach. It was the only time I heard about spinach was, you ever watched a cartoon called Popeye the Sailor Man?
Yes, I know Popeye.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to age you. I wasn't making fun of it. But anyway, Popeye the Sailor Man, that's the only time I heard of spinach. But over the last 10 years, spinach and kale and all sorts of greens have become popular, right? Well, anyway, today is actually Fresh Spinach Day. Yeah, Fresh Spinach Day. Now, Maya, I've been eating spinach for years, and I don't bulk up like Popeye, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let us know, audience. What's your favorite green? What's your favorite green, Maya?
Oh, my favorite green. It probably is kale, to be honest. Like I feel like I haven't had kale for a long. I always make kale chips. It probably takes some of the nutrients out of the kale, but I do love a good kale salad as well. If it's raw kale, and then you just add like lemon or something of it, like it's really good, and strong, and then putting it in my smoothie. So yeah, I gotta say kale is probably like my main go-to. But spinach has been my go-to since young. My mom always has spinach almost on our plates every night.
Okay. What's your favorite greens, audience? Maya's got just kale girl. Suzanne Ingham says kale, spinach. Yeah. I mean, I came from a family where we had romaine lettuce every time. I thought that was, the big thing.
You thought that was peak?
Yeah.
That's peak lettuce.
That was top tier, And then you all came out with kale and spinach and stuff.
We came out with.
BA says spinach, kale and arugula. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Broccoli.
I tried broccoli last night.
Renee Simmons says, well, yeah, I broccoli is green, but
I mean, the first time I grew my first broccoli, I was so proud of myself.
Oh, you grew broccoli?
Yeah.
You have a green thumb?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, why does it come across when she answers me like she's just like I'm judging? I'm not judging. I'm just like I know. Me stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. Larry Marshall says definitely kale for salad, spinach for smoothies. Okay. We've got Brussels sprouts. Okay, broccoli. All right. We've got a guest coming up. We've got Keishon Wilson. We're talking about life insurance. Maya, do you have life insurance?
I should have it because I remember actually having a meeting with Keishon, but then traveling, leaving, and I'm just like, I'm getting old.
This young lady. We're gonna have to talk about this young lady. Once she's left the room, we'll talk about it behind her back. But all right, audience, let's not be like Maya. I actually just got life insurance in May. That's what's crazy about this conversation today. Just got it. Yeah.
See, I should have been had it. I should have had it 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
All right. So Keishon's got one customer come up. We'll talk to you later, Maya. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, come back after this, and we've got Keishon Wilson. We're talking life insurance. Share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Yeah, I think this is a very important one. And keep your answers coming. I want to see who doesn't eat greens. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
It took 14 days to build your business plan. 6 months to build the courage to leave your day job. 3 weeks to find the perfect location. It took 10 days to outfit your space just right. And 1 day before your first client walked in the door. All totaled, it took you a full year to get your business operational. And this is just the beginning. To the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, the people that shape our economic community, we salute you and are here for you every step of the way. BEDC, providing knowledgeable, progressive, professional, and innovative support to Bermuda businesses.
Summer is almost here. Dive into the season with dog quilts and dog pools. Enjoy 20% off West Paws dog floating toys and shop our life jackets for safety in the water this summer. Get all your summer needs before the holidays and events begin. Don't forget to stock up on poo bags and check out Dicky Bags, the poo bag holder that locks in the smell until you can dispose of it. Remember, even dogs need sunblock, so visit Noah's Ark today, Bermuda's most trusted animal supply store for all your summer essentials, and ask us about our rewards program.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. Let's give a warm TDH welcome to another good friend of our friends at Freisenbruch, Keishon Wilson. Give him a warm TDH welcome. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Jamal. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. First off, I want to apologize on behalf of my colleague, Maya.
Yeah.
Right? She said, oh, I should have had it. I met with Keishon. We're going to talk about her. We're going to talk about it. But
I do remember that. We did have a meeting. We discussed it, and
wow. You know what?
It's a lifetime decision. So I'm always okay with people taking their time to make sure they get it right and on time. So she's fine.
Yeah, I'll have a chat with that young lady. Take your time, but not 3 years, Maya. Come on. Real quickly, before we jump into it, we asked the audience, what's their favorite greens? You look like a pretty healthy guy. What's your favorite green?
I would say broccoli as well.
Broccoli. Okay. All right. So I was a fan of broccoli, right? Until the last month. I could only eat soft vegetables. And everywhere I got vegetables in South Florida, they're steamed. So I couldn't chew it. So I lost my love for broccoli over the last month, folks. Yeah. So thank you all for keeping the broccoli love alive. But let's jump into today's conversation. Keishon, tell us a bit about yourself, what it is that you do at Freisenbruch.
So yes, currently I am at Freisenbruch as a senior life and pension sales advisor. I did get into insurance starting at CG. Actually started in England for a company called BJR Group, and then moved to CG, and now I am at Freisenbruch. And I feel like it's been a match made in heaven. I do love dealing with customers, and I do love to speak about life insurance.
Indeed. Let's jump right into the life insurance, though. As I said, I only have had life insurance since May. As I've gotten older, I think I'm 42 now. You understand the importance of certain things, right? You understand, you start to read more and you start to listen to people like yourself, who you realize they're not just trying to sell you something, they're trying to help you. Why is it so important for people to consider life insurance from where you sit?
I think the primary thing is that regardless of who you are, your death is always going to come with some form of financial liability. So I think it's on you as, the person who needs to take ownership of your life to prioritize making sure things are in place to deal with that. Because life insurance does one of two things, depending on the person. If you're someone who is what we would call paycheck to paycheck, what you can do essentially is create something from nothing, if that makes sense. Whereas on the flip side of the coin, if you're someone who has everything, the cost associated with having everything is not something that your kids or your loved ones are going to be able to upkeep, depending on the person. So you could protect the estate that you've created for yourself as well. Indeed.
Very well and simply put. But before we go any further into life insurance, just explain the difference, because this is something that, people get in arguments around the water cooler about, and even at family barbecues and functions. Not understanding the difference between life insurance and pension. I was one of those people when I was in college.
Yeah. So life insurance, of course, is insurance. And what it is you're insuring is your life, your ability to earn, the things that you've created and protect. So from the minute you purchase a life insurance policy, if the worst were to happen to you, the benefits that you signed up for, whether that be $500,000, $1 million, you may have only paid $1,000. The full amount of those benefits associated are going to go to your beneficiaries. With pensions, it's sort of like an investment. So every penny of what you contribute to pension is in some way, shape, or form going to come back to you. Every penny is going to something that's getting invested in. Now, the downside to that in real time is if something happened to you prematurely, your family is only going to benefit from however far you got in your pension contribution. So if you was only able to contribute $100,000, that's what's going to go to the family. In a life insurance policy, if you was only able to contribute $10,000 in your lifetime and you died prematurely, the full amount of the $1 million or whatever you purchased is going to go to the family.
good information there. That's I think that sums it up right there. Anyone who was having trouble understanding it, that's very well said. We mentioned Maya jokingly earlier. She said 3 years ago, but there are a lot of people who just object to life insurance. I remember when I was doing my undergraduate degree, I had a math teacher who just was totally against it. She class, it makes no sense. But what are the main objections from people in Bermuda as it relates to life insurance, and how can we overcome those objections to ensure that they understand the importance of it for them, not you as the person who's trying to educate them?
So I actually love talking about this because, especially in Bermuda, a lot of people's negative, I would say, mindsets around insurance in general doesn't always come from experiences that they have had. It's more or so from, someone they trust or love who has said to them, hey, look, this is a no-go, or this happened, or, so don't do it, which sucks because not everyone's bad experience is yours. Also, when it comes to certain experiences that a specific generation in Bermuda have had when it comes to life insurance companies, who won't be named, local life insurance companies, it is somewhat, you have to kind of give them a little bit of grace because of these experiences that they had. But what I like to say to people is, sometimes people are going to walk on the sidewalk and unfortunately trip over something. It doesn't mean that are in fear of walking on the sidewalk because there's one person, sprained their ankle or something like that. You have to be able to look at the lemons in life and make yourself a glass of lemonade. And I do look at life insurance like that.
Indeed. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Keishon, please send them through. Any questions about life insurance, how you can get a policy, if you have life insurance already and you want to ask about, different options for you, please send your questions and comments through. Keishon, if someone were interested in getting life insurance with Freisenbruch, what options do you guys have available there, and how do they differ depending on people's circumstances?
Yes. So when it comes to life insurance, there are a million ways it can be used, but the two main products that we use are called whole of life and term insurance. So term insurance is more so looked at kind of like the car insurance policy, where you have a sum assured, which is the car value, or let's say the life insurance value, and you would have that protection for a specified amount of time. So a good example on how to use term insurance would be, let's say I just purchased a property for $1 million and my mortgage is 30 years. What I would do is I would take out a $1 million insurance policy for the duration of 30 years, so that if the worst were to happen to me whilst I'm paying off my mortgage, my son, who has maybe just started working or still in school, is not going to have to come up with the money to pay the bank for the house. People don't like the fact that it expires, but the good thing about that is one, you do pay less for that type of coverage. And when we relate it to a mortgage, if you live the 30 years to pay off your mortgage, your house then now becomes the asset that you purchase once you decided to do so. So it's basically balancing the risk associated during that time. And then once it's no longer a risk, it's no longer needed. So with whole of life, it's a little bit different. It's more comprehensive. It's permanent. It does cost a bit more. That is more so used for, I would say, last expenses, funeral costs, because a funeral is pretty much inevitable for everyone. Also, wealth transfer. On a more higher level scale of what whole of life could be used for is wealth transfer. So let's say if you have saved up $100,000 specifically for your legacy, for your kids, what you can do is take that same $100,000, put it into a life insurance plan, and immediately your nest egg is multiplied and it will continue to grow and grow and grow in value, so that when you die, your beneficiaries are going to benefit from far more than you was able to save. So, I could go on and on and on about, how we could use these tools, but I would say those are probably the two main reasons that an individual would come and have a conversation with me.
Okay. We've got quite a few questions from the audience, but I just want to follow up with that. Just so let's say someone was interested in one of those policies. Walk us through the steps of someone who's interested and getting their first life insurance policy with you.
Well, the first thing is to come have a conversation with somebody who actually knows what they are talking about, you know, and that's where we would start. When it comes to life insurance, a lot of people do associate it with huge amounts of cover, but that's not really how it works. What we would do is get you in for a meeting, or what I would do is have you in for a meeting, and we would discuss what you have going on in your life to identify why you would need this type of product. So we would look at your income, you know, any type of debts you have, your net worth, you know, things that need to be protected, and also your personal goals, you know, your personal legacy and what you would like to do for yourself and your family. And we would take all of these things into consideration to determine what would best fit. You know, that's called a needs analysis. Once we determine what's best fits, we would identify the plan, fill out the paperwork, and we would send you off to our doctors to get a medical, which pretty much determines how healthy you are, which would then determine your insurability, which then could determine, you know, whether you pay more or less than the next person based on how healthy you are. So once the medical check is done by the underwriters, they come up with a decision, and then you have time at that time to decide whether this is right for you or maybe not so much. But that's pretty much the journey. You know, we go from needs analysis to application form to medical to insurance decision, and then we would finalize everything.
All right, audience, again, if you have any questions or comments, you can send them through. Karen Edwards Simmons, she says, can a person, you just mentioned how it depends on policy, but can they be denied access to life insurance based on health conditions?
Yes. Yes, they can. And I have had it happen. I've not had it happen as much as I thought it could be possible, but it does happen. But what I do like to say to people who have concerns about that is life insurance is a privilege, you know, to be able to qualify and have this product added to your portfolio. It's not a given. It's not a right. It's a privilege. So, you know, I love to be able to let people get through the process to see if we got you qualified. And if we could get you qualified, then we're in the green, and it's happy days after that.
All right. Suzanne Ingham, she's asking, is there a cutoff age to join?
For term insurance, yes. The cutoff age would be 80 because the minimum term we can do is 5 years and the maximum age is 85. So for whole of life, no. As long as the underwriters are happy with your health and financially the plan makes sense and you can afford it, there isn't a cutoff age. Some of my favorite plans, in fact, are the child plans. So you can actually insure your child from birth, have the policy paid off by the time they're 10 or 20 years old, and they have it now attached to them for the rest of their life with no financial obligation, because as a mother or father, you've cleared the bill before they even start working.
Interesting. Okay. Rosalind Fame is asking, does life insurance make sense for a person with no dependents or spouse/partner?
Yes, it does. It does, but it would depend on other things you might have going on. So if you feel like you have zero desire to leave anything to anyone because you just have zero desire, then maybe not so much. But my question would be to ask you is who's going to pay for your funeral? And if you're not going to choose life insurance to pay for your funeral or things that you need, I would like to hope that you yourself has done the work to save and create something to deal with that if you feel like it's not a plan for you.
Indeed. Mentioned age just now. It's something young people probably have far in the back of their head, but at what age people start considering life insurance?
So, like I said, the child plans are my favorite, but that would obviously be the parents, you know, dealing with that for their children. My answer to that would be as soon as you start to earn. As soon as you start to earn, your income potential is like your vehicle when it comes to life insurance, and that's what you need to protect. So to give an example of what I mean by that, let's just look at a 30-year-old who makes, for numbers' sake, you know, $60,000 a year for 30 years. By the time they get to retirement, 60 age, that's over $1 million that they have created. So at the age of 30, over $1 million was their income potential or their vehicle as such. You have to decide what portion of that you would like to protect and why. based on, you know, your goals and what you like to achieve in life. So as soon as you start earning, you can protect your potential to earn.
Interesting. Before you head out, Keishon, just let the audience know how they can reach out, learn more, get in touch, and if interested in the policy, maybe set up a meeting.
You can just simply call me. You can email me. I'm not sure if you have my details for them to see, but my cell phone number, 535-6352. I'm happy to have a discussion with anybody about it. My goal is to talk. What you do with the information I give you is always going to be up to you. My goal is to give you the information. And you could also email me on kwilson@fmgroup.bm.
All right, Keishon, this was helpful. This is a good conversation. Thank you for coming. Folks, hit him up. Honestly, if you don't have life insurance, if it's something that you think might be something of interest to you and your family, give them a call. Just one last one. Suzanne was asking, if you don't have a beneficiary, can you leave it to a charity?
Yes, you can. You can put charities as beneficiaries as well as your trusts. Believe it or not, you can have a pet as a beneficiary and have a trustee of somebody who's going to take care of your pet with you providing the funds to do so through life insurance. So that's what I mean by there's a million ways of how to get to the goals based on what you'd like to achieve.
This is good information. Keishon, thank you so much. Let's keep in touch. Let us know how people responding, and keep us anything updates that you guys have in your policies and programs. Just let us know, and we'll make sure we engage our audience with the information. But outside that, have a great one.
No worries. You have a good one. Thanks for having me.
No worries. All right, Keishon Wilson, folks, if you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a final break. Come back in about 2 minutes, 19 seconds. And if you haven't already, like, love, share, help us out. Help yourself.
Hot summer, even hotter deals. Beat the heat with BAC's Cup Match Special. Save hundreds of dollars on our energy-saving Carrier high-efficiency mini-split units. And get a free Celio Breeze Smart Thermostat with any mini-split system purchase. Want even more deals? Get 10% off all of our 29-inch Comfort Zone oscillating fans, our Comfort Air Window AC cooling units, and our Hunter ceiling fans when you purchase with cash. This summer, don't just battle the heat. Beat the heat with BAC. Offer valid through August 3rd or while supplies last.
Bermuda's favorite trivia game is now a game show.
What's up, Bermuda? My name is Patrina O'Connor Painter, aka Power Girl Trina, and I'd like to welcome you to Bermuda Trivia. Ready? We're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about people and places. I'm serious.
Now, have you heard about Bermuda Trivia before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you'd be able to answer some of these questions?
Just wait and see. Go to www.bermudatrivia.com. Get more information about it. Get the game. Play it with your family. Educate yourselves. Really?
If I get this wrong,
how much do you know?
Bermuda Trivia, the game show, brought to you by Bacardi. Premieres on Monday, July 8th, only on bcgtv.com. Subscribe today.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Keishon Wilson and the great folks at Freisenbruch. Another good segment of Get Insured. Folks, if you haven't already, please do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share that conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, here we go. Here's your question for the day. First person who answers correctly on my screen will be entered into this week's draw. What former New York Cosmo and Speaker of the House was also a Somerset Cricket Club cup match captain? Mark Arthur C. Phillips showed up first, but Renee Simmons, you got it as well. So Mark Arthur C. Phillips, it is K.H. Randolph Horton. He was a former New York Cosmo, played with Pele, I think, and a former Speaker of the House, and unfortunately, captain of that other team. Yeah, that's St. George, that Somerset team. But Mark, we'll enter you into the draw. We'll get you up into the draw. You join Suzanne, Mark, into this week's draw. Congratulations to you. All right, final thoughts on today. I'll say this much, man. I think we have to understand the importance of keeping money circulating in the Bermudian economy. I know I joke. I do my best to shop locally. You all may not believe it, but many of my toiletries, I actually would go to People's Pharmacy and get my toiletries in Bermuda, because that's who puts money in my pocket. That's who supports me. You know, a lesson from my former boss, Scott Pierman. He's the current CEO of the Bermuda Hospital, and one of the lessons he taught me on the day I was hired at Inter Island Communications, he was eating a sandwich. And another colleague, and I probably told you this story on the show before, another colleague asked, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And he told her where you got it from. She says, "Oh, why you eating from there?" Well, they spend advertising dollars with us, so I'm going to spend my money with them. It's a fair trade, right? That's how trade works. That's how you keep money circulating. That's how you keep everyone going. And it was one of the best lessons any employer's ever taught me. And from that, you know, I appreciated Scott for that always. And so that's how I think about the Bermudian economy. You know, I look at the reward. You know, it's got to be a circular thing. I'm not telling people how to spend the money. I'm not even saying not to support Amazon. I told you, I got me a electric toothbrush. I did my due. But if you can, always look at home first. Always look at home first. Karen Edward Simmons says, Jamal, stop with the summit questions. All right. Yeah, I'm tired of them too. I'm tired of them. All right, folks. Thanks again to Keishon Wilson. Again, I think the importance of understanding life insurance is something we all should be aware of. I'm not saying that everyone needs to purchase it or have a policy, but understanding it at least. And I'm grateful for Freisenbruch for engaging us on a monthly basis so that we know our options and understand what it is that we have access to. As he said, life insurance is a privilege, right? So if you're able to achieve life insurance, reach out. All right, daily inspiration. It's a good one today. Quote, if you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit, end quote. And that's from Michael Jordan. Yeah. If you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC group of companies, Medical Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. New episode of Bermuda Trivia available on bcgtv.com. Go enjoy it. Make it a great one. We are out. Peace.